What if you could go back in time and tell the younger version of yourself certain things that you know now that you wish you would have known? Well, that's ultimately a major concept of this channel. I am the older version of you, and I'm coming from the future to tell you these things that I wish I would have known at your age. Because at age 37, I have learned so many things that no one taught me. I just learned through life. Okay, so I'm giving you the cliff notes here. This is something you need to know. I want to talk to you about the concept of being an alpha male versus being a beta male versus being an omega male. And here's where I want to start with this. The easiest way to break this down and understand it is on my phone. I Googled this, omega male meaning. And here's what it says. Quote, while the alpha male wants to dominate and the beta male just wants to get by, the omega male has either opted out of or if he used to try, he's now given up. End quote. And you can see that in the comment section. What I call my hair loss haters, they're omega men. That's who they are. But it's, as far as this goes, and people have said, well, you're not an alpha male, and anything you believe about hair loss is true in your own mind. So if you believe I'm not an alpha male, then that's your truth. And I'm not going to try to defend myself, because that would only confirm in your own mind what you believe is true. But ultimately, forget about the caveman days. Forget about this outdated concept of like some 1980s professional wrestler. That's not what an omega male is. An omega male is a natural leader who understands that he is one. And a beta male is someone who is a natural follower. Not that that's a bad thing. We need natural followers in society. But then the omega man just kind of does his own thing, but he's not really contributing either. So that's why I look at, that's why I look at my hair loss haters on this channel as omega man, but they actually do contribute, because I read their comments and lash through those logically, and we all learn a lot from the skewed perspective of the omega man, don't we? So I guess they actually accidentally, but see, I'm an alpha male, so naturally I'm going to take the toxic energy that's coming from an omega man and make it something we can actually all share from, because I am an alpha male. And it's not about bossing people around and pounding them over the head. A good leader is going to be able to lead naturally, not through force. And I know, people say, well, how do you call yourself an alpha male if you have to say you're an alpha male? And I get it. I get the concept that someone who's really the boss doesn't say that they're the boss. But I think it's important on this channel, by the nature of what I do, to point that out, to show you a different version of what an alpha male might be. Clearly I'm in charge here. Clearly I'm running the show here. And clearly when people launch toxic comments at me, I put them in their place by, responding logically, because I think we can all learn from that. When everyone's walking around with their own version of what hair loss truth is, if truth is relative in this situation, then we need someone to cut through the red tape with a machete, and that's going to be me. So with that being said, this is a truth that I wish I would have known before. My theory, every man naturally is either by default a true alpha male who's a natural leader, or a natural follower, or naturally does his own thing and doesn't contribute to society. To me, I break it down into those three things. And all of you are one of those by default. Okay? With that being said, it doesn't mean you can't shift gears. And I'm all about switching gears. What I have learned, one of the secrets in life, is that whatever you are naturally, figure out how to be the other ones too. Because there's going to be times, and for me on a daily basis, where I have to pretend to be a beta, or I have to pretend to be an omega even at times. And that's how I get ahead in life. Okay? Because naturally I'm a leader. I want to find out the most efficient, best way to do things, and then share my information with everyone else, because when I can share knowledge with people, it only reinforces the fact that I'm a leader. A natural leader is going to share that information, not keep it to himself. That'd be an omega man. Don't confuse me with an omega man. I'm here to share, because Remember when I talked about the things that makes a man cool? That was an 11-part series. One of the things is that you're pro-social. You're able to help other people, and you want to help other people. But again, it only reinforces that you're a leader when you're sharing information that's going to help someone else improve their own life. All right, so I'm going to give you a few examples. All right, so I wake up alpha male. That's always the brain that I'm in, okay? However, keep in mind, I'm married, right? And do you think that if I treated my wife in alpha male mode and I just remained that way, that I would have a good marriage, that I'd still be married 10 years later? Do you think that that's how that would work if I just said, this is what I want, this is what we're going to do? Of course not. When I'm interacting with my wife, I am a beta, okay? We're both betas, right? So we can have a conversation and understanding, we can have a negotiation. That's what it's like being married in real life. Not what you think, but in real life, you both become betas. That's what a good relationship is, okay? At times, yes, at times I am alpha. You know, there are times when my wife asks me a question, what should we do? Where should we go? What should we eat? You know, or when the kids are acting up and I need to take charge because she's cooking over there and I need to take charge of what's going on and create order. She doesn't even have to tell me to do that. I do it naturally. I know my role, and that's to be the alpha male when applicable. But for most of the time when I'm in this house and I'm around my wife, I'm beta, because I know that that's what makes a successful marriage, not bossing someone around, right? Or not trying to lead them all the time. And classic mistake for a newlywed, that's a guy. He comes home, it's his first week of being married. He comes home, his wife tells him about the bad day at work that she had. And what does he try to do, being the alpha male? He tries to just fix the problem. Oh, well, did you say this? Why don't you try this? This is what I would do. She doesn't want that. She wants to be listened to. She wants to feel understood. So, you know, those are things. In being married 10 years, I've learned, be a beta, be a supporter, be a listener. If I'm asked for the input, then I go into alpha and I'm like, okay, well, here's what you need to know. And the same concept at work, okay? I know it's random, but yeah, I work in HR, okay? All day long, I'm having to be the beta man. Sometimes people need me to be an alpha, but most of the time they need me to be a beta. They need me to be compliant and helpful. And at times I have people talking down to me, you know, bossing me around. Now, and I realize, wow, they really want to throw their weight around like that. I mean, I have people totally talk down to me, you know, but I chose not to be offended, and I chose just to smile and nod, and guess what? I got my way in the end. I got what I needed out of that person because I pretended to be nice. I pretended to be a beta when really it was against my nature. When am I an omega, though? Not as often, but I'll give you an example. Usually once a year in the summer, our family goes to California, where my wife's from. She has a large family. She's 9 of 10 kids, okay? So there's all this family all around for a whole week. And most of the time, I'm Omega Man. I know my role in that society. Hey, this is family. I'm married into this, even though it's been a decade. But still, you know, I'm there when anyone needs me. But ultimately, I'm just kind of doing my own thing, just kind of, I'm a wallflower, I'm kind of in the background, because that's my place. I want them to have that time together as a family. I don't want to try to override anything. But still, when applicable, if I need to move myself up to a beta, or even alpha, which is probably more just on road trips and like navigating and planning out some things, I guess. But I know that throughout the day, throughout an hour, I will go from alpha to beta, sometimes to omega, and switch back and forth. Each person I deal with, I'm a different person. And that is something I wish I would have understood before. It's okay if you're a beta. It's okay if you're alpha. It's okay if you're omega, but it's a matter of understanding that even if you can't change that permanently, your default, it's a matter of understanding. If you can pretend to be the other things, it's going to get you further in life. I naturally am a leader. That's my default. That's my norm. I do my own thing. I do what I think is going to be best. But when I have other people that I'm working with, I switch to beta. I need to be the one who collaborates and helps other people. And I understand that. And in closing, I've said it before, but even on this channel. I tone it down, and I understand that I have to basically play mind games on certain people. Certain people wouldn't respond to me that well if I stayed in alpha mode all the time. So I had to say silly things like anything you believe about hair loss is true in your own mind, because people who don't deal well with alpha males can't handle the truth when I say it sometimes. So I have to let them believe that they're right, even though they're obviously not. But as long as they believe that they're right, they'll keep watching because they'll feel like they're connected to me. So I pretend to be something I'm not. You know, it's like back when I was going, just be yourself, man. Nick Shell says, no way, don't just be yourself. Know who you are. Build your identity. Don't let other people control your emotions. Know who you are and here. But ultimately, no, don't just be yourself. You totally need to switch who you are to accommodate everything. That's a simple truth of life that emotionally intelligent people like me already know. That whole book, Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that's the whole concept. People want to interact with people who are like them already. It makes them feel special. It makes them think, oh, this person relates to me, okay? I'm an alpha male who often pretends to be a beta male. And sometimes when I need to be, I'm omega. The fact that I understand all that helps me understand other people, which only reinforces I'm an alpha male who is a natural leader, especially because I can predict what people are going to say and think before they do. So I'm already there to put on the right face for it. I'm Nick Shell. I'm the alpha male of YouTube.